understanding, Ms. Franke's being held on a no bail hold at this point. She's going to remain on a no bail hold for the time being.
Ruby Franke, the YouTube mom and creator of 8 Passengers family vlog channel, alongside her business partner Jody Hildebrandt, shocked the internet last week after Ruby's daughter posted that her mother was finally arrested. Ruby and Jody are now both facing felony counts of aggravated child after 2 children in their custody were found to be malnourished and neglected, one with severe wounds as a result of being tied up with rope and duct tape. It was reported that Ruby's son escaped through a window and ran to a neighbor's home to ask for food and water, where the neighbor reported that he looked emaciated. It was at that point when the cops were called. The young boy, who many believe to be 12-year-old Russell from 8 Passengers, was later transported to the hospital on medical hold with one of his younger siblings, both of whom were found to be malnourished. Now, a little update on this story, as it has been around a week since these 2 women were arrested. Ruby and Jody were expected to have their first court hearing on Friday, September 8th, the day before her trial. And if you don't know what a shelter care hearing is, they're usually emergency court hearings where the police, DCF, and whatever witnesses testify why they believe a child has been abused, abandoned, or neglected. And from there, the judge determines if the child is safe wherever she or he is living, and if not, where the child should be placed. Now, although the hearing wasn't publicized to the media, the Daily Mail did publish an article about this hearing, titled "YouTuber Mom Ruby Franke Appears in Court and Turns on Her Children, Making Outrageous Claims About Their Behavior and Accusing Them of Sexual Abuse." I saw a lot of people talking about this on TikTok, and they were saying that Ruby had accused her child of SA-ing other children. They wrote, "Mother of 6 Ruby Franke sobbed in court as she appeared for a shelter hearing for her 4 minor children to determine custody. Speaking to the public courtroom Thursday, the Mormon mom at times broke down as she made shocking claims that one of her minor children sexually abused their sibling and molested several other family members and children in the neighborhood over the years." Wow. Yeah. And it gets worse. Seeming to pin the blame for her behavior on her children, Franke went into horrific detail about how one of her 6 kids abused other children. She claimed that one of the Franke kids began looking at corn at just 3 years old. In one of the most shocking claims, Franke said that her child had been sexually abused a younger sibling for years, adding that eventually the 2 of them began to abuse other children. She also claimed her 2 children played a patting game with each other, but did not go into further detail. Franke said that in May, her child confessed sexually abusing 20 people, including cousins and neighbors. She provided no proof of her sickening allegations. The court went eerily silent after Ruby made the disturbing claims. The judge then said that her alleged abusive child will then need to be placed in a home with no other children. People were shocked to hear this, and if this is true, this is a whole nother situation that needs its own investigation. People were commenting things further about her parenting, saying things like, "How does she think this makes her look like a better mother? Doesn't that still fall on her? She's the parent." Now, these 2's initial court appearance was scheduled on Friday, but the court hearing lasted just about 30 minutes, and it was via Zoom call. Ruby and Jody seemed to be in separate rooms, and the judge in another. The judge had made it so that the court hearing was virtual, so they had it on Zoom, and so pretty much anyone could join in on a platform called WebEx. And it was capped out to 1,000 people, but over 1,100 people had joined in, and this caused some technical difficulties on the WebEx platform. There were just so many people that wanted to tune in, but fortunately enough, there were people in there recording Ruby and Jody in the virtual trial, even though it was just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, so this was the bail hearing. She got no bail, so she has to stay in jail. Yep, Jody's coming.
We'll talk to your judge. Are you Jody Nan Hildebrandt?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Terry, you entering an appearance in this case today?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has your client received a copy of the information?
She has, Your Honor. I've gone over the information with her in detail. She's aware of the charges. She's aware of the elements. She's aware of the potential penalties. The information contained in the caption with respect to her date of birth and address is accurate. We waive the reading.
Okay. I'm going to, in place for now, we're going to set this case for a review hearing in front of Judge Walton on the same date and time as the previous case, September 21st at 9:10 in the morning.
Nothing else today, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
She looks so out of it.
Ruby answered just a few yes or no questions, and the judge was just asking her if she could hear him.
So do I have a stipulation of the counsel to transfer Ms. Franke's case to Judge Walton?
Yes, Your Honor.
That motion is granted. My understanding, Ms. Franke's being held on a no-bail hold at this point. She's going to remain on a no-bail hold for the time being. What would you like me to do with the case, Mr. Winward, at this point?
Your Honor, we anticipate filing a motion to Judge Walton's court for the bail hearing forthwith. The court wants to conclude the initial appearance. We're fine with that.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is set this on Judge Walton's law and motion calendar a week from this coming Thursday. What date is that?
Yes.
September 21st at 9.
All around, the whole setup was just so messy. There was even children and teenagers making disturbing noises in the background, and it was just a whole mess, you guys. But don't worry, because a reporter of KSL News was able to update people live on the court hearing and what ended up happening. Basically, this court trial was just very short, and there seemed to be a lot of technical difficulties, but both Ruby and Jody will continue to be held without bail as ordered by the judge. The judge also granted a motion to move the case to another judge, and this next hearing is expected to be on September 21.
And very brief hearings for both of them, but a motion was raised by Ruby Franke's attorney, basically transferring her case to a different judge who is also the same judge that is going to be responsible for the Jody Hildebrandt case. So going forward, they are both going to be basically going through the same process with the same judge. And then a hearing was scheduled, another one for September 21st at 9:10 in the morning. At that point, we understand that the issue of bail is going to be addressed. Currently, both women are being held without bail in jail.
Apparently, some of Ruby's children also appeared in court as well, as numerous articles are reporting on that as well. Also to note, Ruby's husband Kevin also appeared in court as well, but we'll have to see until the next hearing, where it seems like they're going to be read their charges and the case is going to go more in depth. Overall, people are still happy that Ruby and Jody are still being held without bail, since they were charged with 6 very serious charges of child abuse. And this whole situation just speaks for itself. Let me know your thoughts on this ongoing situation in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.